down the street. Wind blowing. It will be like the Franks they had in World War I. They was no good after the war. A man that was captain of our fruit in 1933, a portion of it, 32, portion of it, name was Azzad Mohammed. He was in World War I, and he had over $1 million in that money. He told me, he says, Brother John, he says, just as soon as I cash these in, he says, we're gonna have a nice, beautiful temple. I said, Brother Captain, that money is dead. You can't use it. He said, oh yes, they told me I could. I said, all right, go and cash. And he couldn't cash none of it. They told him it is dead. The same thing is marching on America money. People will have it probably in other countries, want to cash it in. Can't do it. That money is dead.
I have heard it from the Rostam, spoken by Master Farad, that the worst and hardest job, the hardest job that a man can take up is going to the wilderness of North America, trying to arise a man that's blind, deaf, and dumb. And that is a hard job. To teach a person who have no knowledge of self, nobody else, have never seen nobody but a slave master, and he's bent upon obeying the slave master just like the others was in slavery that was a house slave.
Master Farad came to us during the Great Depression of the 30s, 1930s. In the beginning, we assumed that he was just like any other Arab peddler, selling tapestry, silk, and woolen material by the yards. Am I right?
Right, that's right.
This was his own way of acquainting our oppressed people with the Islamic religion. For example, he would go door to door with his goods and material. This gave him the advantage of getting into homes to speak on the Islamic religion.
He came first to our houses selling raincoats and then afterwards silks. In this way, he could get into the people's houses, for every woman was eager to see the nice things the peddlers had for sale. He told us that the silks he carried were the same kind that our people used in their home country and that he had come from there. So we all asked him to tell us about our own country. If we asked him to eat with us, he would eat whatever we had on the table, but after the meal he began to talk. Now, don't eat this food. It is poison for you. The people in your own country do not eat it. Since they eat the right kind of food, they have the best health all the time. If you would live just like the people in your home country, you would never be sick anymore. So we all wanted him to tell us more about ourselves and about our home country and about how we could be free from rheumatism, aches, and pains.
He taught us that the slave masters had taught us to eat the wrong food, and that this wrong food is the cause of our sickness and short span of life. He declared that he would heal us and set us in heaven at once, if we would submit to him.
So this is one thing that he would teach us as we sit to the table eating. He would teach these different things to us, which I have never as yet took it upon myself to tell you. I'm telling you now more than I have ever told you concerning the eating and what to eat. But because I heard it while he teach Sister Clara Muhammad and my mother at our table, and at my brother Captain Kalat's house at his table. Those were the three places that he ate most, I say all of the time. All of the time. He ate about 99 and 9/10%. He ate it at our house with us and told us which was which and how to do it and how to cook it and whatnot.
You know, we only eat once a day, and we can really go some because we have 24 hours between the meals.
Sometimes he'd eat every day for a while, and he would fast for 6 or 7 days. Many times he would fast for 3 days, and he could eat, brother. He could eat. Not a man in here could tackle him on eating. Not a man in here.
You know, we eat once a day, most of us, and brother, we have a good appetite at that one meal. Don't think now that you can out-eat the Muslim. Certainly we can out-eat you. We wait till we're hungry.
Now this is a blessing that I use. When I asked the blessing, we asked Master Farad, could we use it? He said yes. That is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allah illallah Farad Muhammad Rasulullah Ameen. That's a blessing for the food. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allah illallah Farad Muhammad. But I said Muhammad, which meant Muhammad. Farad Muhammad Rasulullah Ameen. That's what I say every time I eat. That is, I thank everybody that had anything to do with this food, that one that went out to get it, that one that cooked it. I thank them, everybody that touched this food. I thank them for it, and I thank Allah for giving me the power to go get it. I thank everybody, even to myself. God, I even thank you for what you would have did for it if you had been in the working of it. That's the blessings that we ask. That is what my son called the emergency one. Now there are others. It's short why he said emergency one. It's short. There's others that we say the prayer in. The same prayer is in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. We say that before we eat. A lot of us say it. We used to say it a long time ago. When we stand up, and there's other prayers in there that you can say before you eat.
America, hunger is staring at you now. Unemployment. You cannot buy the food that you used to buy, for you have nothing to buy it with. This is why I plead with you to come join up with me, and let us go to the earth and grow our food, not go walking around the city with a basket for the devil to drop food into. He will not help you, for he will not have any food to drop into his own basket. He has not only food stored up, but he has clothes stored up. He has plenty of this, but that does not mean that he cannot come to hunger and nakedness if Allah, God, strikes at him.
In a country like this, Master Azzad Mohammed said, all of a sudden, it will fall on this country like a bottom falling out of a bucket full of water. All at once it will do it. And that is coming.
Yes, sir.
The Holy Quran tells us, when you see and hear the noise over there, you say it's coming over here.
That's right.
And it's coming. Master Farad told us it. He told us about the condition of people living today, and it will become a revolution, fighting all over this country. People will be fighting. He said it will last us for about 90 days. That's why he always said to us, when you eat one can of food, say you save one. He said it. He said it like this: when you go to the store and you buy you want some canned food. If you buy one, buy two. You eat one and save the other. Now, you can't save a canned food too long, which he didn't say get it in the can, in glass. You can keep it for longer, but it will soon dry out after a certain time. But the way he told us how to do it, he says the way you do this is like you buy 2 cans this week, or maybe more. He says, always get the fresh can and set it down and eat the old can from last week. So that way your food will stay fresh on the shelf all the time. And that's true.
That's right.
You do not like doing right. You do not like doing something for self. You glorify begging the white man to do for you that which you can do for yourself. I warn you that the day is not far distant when you will be forced to do something for yourself, because the white man is bound to drop you. And that he knows, but he is not telling you. He is allowing you the chance to make a fool of yourself and be caught at that time like a grasshopper who enjoyed summer weather. But cold weather kills the grasshopper. It freezes him to death because he has no house to lodge in.
Here in Chicago, in 1933, Master Azzad Mohammed and the teachers, messenger, and officials was here. Number 2 was not sit up at that time. We was just only getting around to different people trying to get enough together. So he taken me to, as we was in the flower house here, you might know where it is, I couldn't go back to it now. He taken me up to this devil. He said to me after we got away from the rest of them, he says, "Come on, Muhammad." He says, "See that devil over there?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "We want to go to someplace. I don't remember. But anyway, he says, we wants to go there. He says, I'm going to show you that I know more about the city than he do. Now, he's going to tell us to go all out of the way when we don't have far to go. I thought to myself, well, what the hell are you going over there to ask him for then? And you already know. But you know, he was teaching me that he understood and know. So we get to the devil. He asked him. He says, me and my brother, this man here, we wants to go to such and such place. He looked at him. He says, oh yeah. Just like he had told me. Some speedy call and go left, turn right and whatnot, and then you'll be there. So he says to him, he says, thank you. And he walks back. He goes back to the rest of the people, our people. He says, I told you, John, Muhammad, he says, I told you that I know the city better than he do. He told us wrong. He says, now we're going to go there. And we went right to the place where he wanted to go. Didn't ask anyone else. But he showed to me how the devil will misguide and mislead a people when you're depending on them. That's what he was teaching me in that little space of time. Do not put your trust and hopes into this Caucasian white devil, because he's going to lead you wrong.
Now, my dear beloved brother, I will tell you again and again, you have heard me from time to time that must not undertake the labor of Islam unless you do know it 100%. You must always tell me, other you will not be successful. This is why I'm here to guide you to the right road. It is true that you can use the wisdom, but remember, you are the wise and is in the mouth of the lion in his cave, or civilization, without any right in regards to the rules and regulations for practicing your profession in this cave, civilization, in the first place. You have no business being here, but since you are here long way from home and your kind, and are in the cave of savage, you must use your wisdom with care, other this savage will piece you in two. The law of nature will not allow a man to run the home of another man, so be clear on this and use your wisdom with care. I will tell you to get out on the street and on the top of all the high building, yell out your wisdom when the time come. The time is not ripe yet.
No, you don't have to call him the devil. When you want something other from him, act like you want it.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Pete. How you doing? I'm talking how he do, you know. How you do us, you know.
Yes, sir.
That old redneck. Hi, Pete. Don't bother him. You want something from him. Don't bother him. Hi. How you doing this morning? I'm all right. You mighty happy about something. What is it?
That's it. Right. Yes, sir.
Well, I thought maybe that you could let me have a few bucks this morning. See, I ain't got this and I ain't got that. I'll pay you back when I get it and so on. Say, I need to buy myself something. This all I got on. Them kind will help you. See, you acting like that. When you got your hand in the line in your mouth, don't hit the line, for God's sakes.
Right. Yes, sir.
Pat his head so he can get your hand out of his mouth. You know what that was called by Master Farad? Nature law.
That's nature law. You won't fight back, but you getting them all at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nature law.
The devil's his worry and his mad, angry wolves, because they know that Allah, our Savior, have come to deliver us from him and destroy them from the planet Earth. He shall laugh at them in their ignorance, trying to fight against him, and his little faithful few, that is like little lambs among wolves.
Now, the white people being relatives of some sort, or being with us, or we should have something to do with them. We shouldn't have nothing to do with them. Complete. Have nothing to do with them. Now, some might say, I'm trying to answer this to the way that you can understand it. Yes. You know what I mean. Yes. I don't mean that you should just say, "Oh, you the devil. I'm not going to have nothing to do with you," you know. Because the messenger told me sometime before he died, he said, "Brother," he said, "we don't have to call them devils even now." So they know they're the devil. So he says, the teaching has come to us, and we can call them Caucasian or whatever that we want, because you got to work with him. You have to get your earnings from him now. So we can't just go and throw cold water on him now, and which is facts, because he can fire you from your job right away. And then where you going to get a job? Your people don't have no place for you to work for 20 or 30 million people. We can't even hire 10 million of people of our kind. But all of our earnings come from this government. Now suppose, he showed me these points by saying, suppose a man on welfare, he can't get a job, but he goes to the welfare and there is a white man waiting on him. Now he can say, "No, you called me a devil. No, you belong to the old Muslims over there." No, which a lot of them have did it, and that was, he was cut off. Then he had to go and make him a junk wagon, you know, and go up and down the alleys, picking up the junk from the street to live. So he says, now Master Farad gave it to us this. He says, when you're talking to the devil, give him an apple. Put an apple in his mouth. You understand what I mean by the apple? Right. All right. Now, you got to play with him, you know. You knows that he's the devil. So give him something to eat on, like you do a dog or something to keep him from biting you. Because you know who he is. You know there's a dog here. You ain't going out there to start beating on the dog. No, because that dog will bite you.
Makes sense.
Master Farad suffered greatly for bringing us the teaching of our mother religion, Islam. He suffered, brothers and sisters. He got his tooth knocked out. He suffered the cold weather. He used to come to our home after he'd make a trip. He would tell my father that he's going to take a short trip. He would go into Canada. And when he returned, this was in wintertime. At that time, we had a 4-burner coal stove. And Master Farad used to let the oven dough down and stick his feet inside to warm and put his hand over the burners.
They used to have bells here in the Catholic churches here. You could hear a bell every Sunday morning, every evening when they go into this or that in their church. Bells start ringing. They used to have them here. You don't hear them no more. Muhammad stopped the bells in his time too. So the bells in the coming of this Muhammad, he didn't have to stop them. They stopped them themselves. They had them up until 1930. That I do know, because I didn't live but a block away from them. Hear the bell ringing to come to service on Sunday morning. Come to service in the evening time, and very soon you see a street filled with hunkies going to prayer. And what was he going to prayer for?
Right.
He was still the devil when he went in, still one when he come out.
That's right.
The Muslim considers it his sacred duty to rescue his brothers and sisters who are sleeping away in ignorance after having drained to the dregs the poison cup of Christian civilization, a deadly poison concocted by the devil himself and served by the preacher in the church.
At the coming of Master Farad Muhammad, he changed our time from early in the morning going to wash up like 11 o'clock some Sunday morning we would go. He changed it from that time to 2 o'clock on Sundays. Why? A lot of people don't know it, and it's as easy as saying 1, 2, 3. It is because of the Christian church would be out. When 2 o'clock comes, the morning service will be dismissed. Right. Now you got a chance to come to the temple from 2 on. That's why he changed it to 2 o'clock.
The worship of Jesus' birthday, which they claim is on the 25th of December, is one of the most open other than the truths, and the authors of their religion, Christianity, know that they are wrong in trying to tell the world that that is the day Jesus was born on. Not a man on earth knows that day, because it was not mentioned. His birth could not have been made known, since the authority of his time was intended to kill him. They knew that he was not coming to help them. They got a little mixed up in his appearance, or looking for the birth of a mighty one to come and change the Jews' government and people for hellfire. Though Jesus was actually believing that he could convert the Jews until he learned the history of the Jews. Then he changed his mind and denounced them as being a race of devils, and his word of truth had no place in them, because there was no truth in them by nature. They were not made of truth. Therefore, the Christmas, the 25th day of December that you worship every year, is not the birthday of Jesus. Jesus was born in September between the 1st and 2nd week. Some of you do not care whose birthday it is, just as long as you are off from work and acting like a fool, wasting up all your money that you have made that year to buy whiskey, a few fine clothes, new automobiles, or something to help enrich the world that has taught you such things.
The Savior said that he would return, but did he ever mention what he would do when he returned?
Yes. He says that when he come back, he would not play Santa Claus. No. Santa Claus is a false man, ain't he? So he said he wouldn't play it when he come back. He says everybody will know who I am.
you.